Okay, first I want to just thank Heidi for going ahead and videotaping this game. It's pretty cool under the lights. We don't really have any other view in the background so there's a good contrast and we can really see everything pretty much. Um, okay, so the first thing is I want to talk about us being able to set into a game early, control the ball, get it on our feet, and play. And if you see the first couple minutes here, it's all over the place. No one has control of the ball. It's bouncing everywhere. People are just kicking it into people who are blocking it. You'll see what they do here. They have an open player in the back who could get more open. Instead, they throw it into a crowd, and it just turns into a mess. Once we get the ball 2-3 times in a row here, we have to be able to find someone who has a little bit of time and actually get them involved in the play so that we can control it for a little bit. And you can see these first 45 seconds, this first minute is a mess. So once again, we win the ball. Wide ball, it's a decent idea, but to who, right? Now Sally has it, and look how long it takes to give her real support, but she's only one-on-one, and she still just gets rid of it, right? Before we can get help, but also before she's under any real pressure to lose it. So we just have to want to keep the ball more. And that's every individual, to not just get rid of it when you feel like someone's close. So set pieces are important.
Back up a little bit, strike a quality ball to the back post.
You just heard me tell Anna to back up and actually hit a good ball. I think right here she could have backed up more and actually really hit a quality ball into the box. You see how just launching a ball in there can cause chaos for the other team. If we take better care of those instances and those moments where we can really put the other team under pressure, whether it's a corner kick or any other free kick, and there were plenty in this game that we just did not take advantage of. If we do better, we can score a lot more goals. And you'll see we scored off a few set pieces this weekend alone. So once again, we win the ball in the middle from a good pressing, but we lose it right away. And here we get the ball. We decide to go back to McKenna. Okay. But now how can we keep it? Pretty much every single thing we've done in the first couple minutes here is scruffy. Right? This pass is bouncing in the air to someone who's not facing the field and behind them. We're just struggling to get our foot on the ball, and this is something that over the course of the season, with every game we play, and they will be difficult games, we have to do a much better job of settling into a game early and using quality to impose ourselves. And see, defensively, I think we did pretty well in this game. Overall, I think we did a pretty decent job of, getting stuck into the ball and supporting each other defensively. But once we won it, we did just not a very good job of keeping it or really relieving ourselves that much pressure. I mean, this is good. It gets the ball out of bounds. We can reorganize. But once we win it, we have to try to keep it. I say it ad nauseum, but it really is what this game is all about. And if we want to just clear it and get it away, then we have to do that with a purpose. Because this is 3 now throw-ins in a row. The danger is that this time they find a way through. Once again, good support defending, but we lose it. We get it back, we lose it. And eventually, there is one of 2 teams that will start to figure it out and put some quality into it. We can't wait for the other team to wake up for us to get, really into the game and playing well. We have to start as well as we can, give ourselves the best chance from the very beginning. So that right there, what I just said, is kind of
Shut
the
up. Look, you can push hell out.
that's the overall message, right, in these first 5 minutes of the game.
Okay, so one thing we gotta keep in mind here, I know earlier I said that there's that box at the door, but right now, the one thing I don't want is for Sally and Aaron to drop the
So you saw there, we managed to get over the halfway line, but it almost was like we were forcing our way through. It didn't look like clean passing. It was, deflections and bounces and tackles. It's good by McKenna to come out and clean that up. But now our goalkeeper, we know, is out of position because she came to deal with a problem. So we have to be ravenous to get that ball back in the middle. Because if they get the ball and there's an open goal and they shoot and score, we're going to, our goalkeeper is going to look silly and it's not going to be her fault. See, that's a very good penetrating ball. Gives Auntie plenty of time to run at somebody. It's a good cross right into the danger area of the box.
Make something of this, Burgundy.
And that's the message. Make something of this. This is an opportunity. This is a great chance to put the other team under a lot of pressure. And we scored from a corner kick, from a rebound off a corner in the last game. So this should be an exciting opportunity for us. And so there you go. And it's pretty much a carbon copy of Stea's goal in the first game, where we had a good ball into the box, we attacked it well, caused problems for the other team, and we were the ones that were hungrier and got to it first. And at this moment, Rhea is actually saying to the players on the bench that was all about who wanted it more. And we did, and so we scored. And that's great to see.
Just you, Sally. No, Tate. Leave it, Tatum. That's why.
And so this is one of those key moments about pressing, is where we don't want people just running to the ball. We want people who are closer to the ball to apply pressure, but to also show the other team one direction and cut off another, which sends a message to the rest of the group behind where we plan to defend. It's something we need to do a little bit better. Rather than everyone just running at the ball, we need people to cover their space, cover any ball that could go through into a dangerous area, and also be aware of the marks that we have nearby to make sure that if they get the ball, they can't turn and cause damage. So what I'm telling Anna right there is something that we all do as well. It's when the ball goes out or there's a transition, we tend to be slow to react. I've also seen that happen a lot with when we win a corner kick or a throw-in, we'll stand around and look around. And I told the players at some point in this game, you don't have ball boys. There's no one here to get you the ball in your hands. And, if you don't want to take a corner kick and the goalkeeper grabs it and puts it on the line and the ref's not sure, well, then it's a goal kick.
Look, so what you want to do is you make the run down the channel, she passes to you, she goes behind in the middle. You alternate off each other like that, right? Good. Hey, yeah, good. Try all the way up to her. Sally, push up. Push up. You're forward. Push up. Push up. Good.
So you can see the play's congested over here. What we want to do when we win it is get it to the other side of the field, because I would say 8 out of their 11 players are in this sort of channel here. So if we can get it to the other side, that's where there's space to be able to attack the goal. Exactly, right there. Great example of it.
That's awesome. And they're like coming up out of back. So that's one of the big things about playing on the outside back. One of the big things you got to remember is that solid formation. It's four defenders and then a column of people up the middle. The only wide players out there right now are Ari and Lane. That's it. You can't. If we have the ball. If you have the ball and there's space and time for you on forward, add yourself to the attack. And the idea is that you pass the field instead of sort of go wide open. Right. Layla's doing a great job. She's scored a lot and it's helping. But that was, she was kicking out way too much.
All right, so spoiler alert, they're going to score a goal here soon. And there needs to be a sort of a switch in mentality when we have a corner kick. We know what we just did to score on one. Now we have to know that the same applies for getting the ball out on a corner kick. You have to want it more. You have to be first to the ball. And then if you can get your foot on it, you have to get it away from goal. All right? If it's on your head or on your chest or on your knee or something, you have to get it going away from the goal. So here I think good job by Peyton to just go ahead and just get it out. Even though we give up another corner, we dealt with that one okay. It was a little bit scary, it got a little bit nervy, but we dealt with it okay. Well, now we need to have that same desire, once again, turn up the urgency and really make sure we get it out. Because the longer it stays here, the more encouraged they are. The one thing to look at is the body positioning of everybody. Everyone's facing the ball, everyone's on their heels. And I commend Stea for going and trying to get underneath it. And I know that the girls at this level are not very comfortable heading a ball like that from a corner kick, and that's okay. But you have to get something on it and not your hands, and we still have a tendency as a team to jump in the air with our hands kind of up to our sides as if we're going to block a punch. But that you know, the only way you stop a ball hitting you in the face is putting your hands in front of your face. We're not doing that, but we're putting our hands in a place where we're inviting the referee to just give the other team a penalty. And it's a really unfortunate way to give up a goal, right? This is entirely about what kind of small sacrifice are you willing to make sure that the ball goes away from the goal. And when you put your hands up, or you let the ball bounce, you really, really run the risk of either making a mistake like an own goal or a handball, or allowing the other team to get to it first. So.
No, it's not left and right. It's work together. There is no left and right. It's forward. You're both center forward, moving on. Hey, stay sub. Say something.
So we just got scored on. There's a well-known idea or commonly said thing that you're most vulnerable as a team right after you've scored a goal, because there's a big transition in how to approach it. So we should really go and try and put pressure on them right away. Let's see if we can get an attack going that can get us into goal quickly. And you see here, we know Anna, we sort of designed a play where we play the ball back to Anna and everyone starts to go forward. Well, you saw everyone sort of running forward. No one really sprinting. No one really trying to get beyond the other team. Everyone's running, looking back to see what she's going to do. And this is something that I talk about a lot with this team, is we need to be initiating more of the balls by making the run first. You have to make a run and say, I want it here, instead of saying, well, I'm going to move in this direction, hopefully it gets kicked, and then I'll just run as fast as I can after it. It's too late. We have to initiate the run first.
Hey, there's 3 of us in there. We didn't end up winning the ball. That's a problem, Burgundy.
And so right there, what I'm saying is it is really an issue of tackling and making sure that we dominate the midfield. I think that was
Back her up. Come on,
one of
come
my
on,
biggest
come on.
takeaways from this entire weekend
Go
was
ahead,
if we
Mira.
dominate the
Hey,
midfield
if Mira's going to do that much work
defensively,
to chase and get the ball, you have
and
to
then we
as
actually
well.
do the work, like I just said, Mira's the
Give me
one
the only
chasing
spring
around
around
here, and a
like
lot
that.
of the
Come on.
midfield is watching.
Tate, where are you? Come on.
If everyone
Jill.
does their job in a hard way
Get over
and
here.
stays
You're not
balanced,
left. You're
again, I'm
forward.
telling Jill here to come join the play. She's not helping away out on the left side. We want to be able to get the ball, get it under control, find each other, and go to goal. But you see, look, our two forwards here, they have a player way back on top of their box. We should have someone as well way up there, just in case. Because when we turn, there's no one there. And now they can sort of pass out if they are able to get the ball. We need to be up right in their faces.
Mira, tuck in. Tuck in. Don't worry about her yet. Tuck in, Mira. Number 4 is more dangerous than the one out there.
So right here again, what I'm saying basically is the simple way to put it is when we lose the ball, we need to shrink and collapse a little bit like an accordion coming in, and then we need to open back up when we win the ball. You can use lungs as a metaphor if you want. I don't mind. But that's the idea that we need to have so that we can actually keep the ball instead of trying to play through a gauntlet of bodies.
Charlotte, just hold. Hey, we don't want all 4 of you just running up. You're leaving a giant gap in the middle. You're good. You're good right there.
And again, this is the balance. What I was just saying about leaving gaps, and we need to basically be equidistant most of the game. That equidistance changes based on whether we have the ball or not, but we can't get stuck in the same areas. And I've said it a couple times already here, but that I think is one of the biggest things that I want to work on with this team this season. So hopefully that's where we see big improvements over the course of the fall.
Excellent, Chloe. Excellent, Chloe.
Yes, Stacy! Shout for her!
Well done, Chloe.
So here we have a free kick, and everyone is so congested in the middle. Look in the channels outside of the penalty areas on the side. There's so much room. But we kick it straight into the crowd, and we lose it. So, we just need to do things that are a little bit wiser in the moment, things that up our chances. That's an example of something that's a little bit thoughtless from us, right? So this is great. I love hearing this from the players that are on the sideline. A lot of support. Really being activated from the bench, helping everyone who's out there and supporting great actions.
Yes, Charlotte!
Chloe, closer to the ball. Closer to the ball. There you go. Hey, that's what we get for being like, maybe I won't, okay, actually now I have to. You got to make the decision to go or to
So right there, the thing I was talking about was
trust your first choice.
that,
If your first choice
and what I'm saying here is trust your first choice. If you're going to go make a tackle and you start moving towards the ball, you really can't stop anymore. If you stop, you're now basically allowing the attacker to blow by you in that one moment where you're not really moving, where you may be on your heels for just a second. you either go for it or you hold. And I think that's one thing that's really important for anyone defending to remember is that hesitation is exactly the kind of thing that gets us into trouble. Again, just that same lesson really from this whole first half is we have to relax and pass the ball. We have to be confident enough that when we have it, we're not just going to lose it because there's an opponent within a yard or two of us. We have to protect it and pass it.
One there in the middle.
All right, so this is start of the second half. Here's our kickoff. Ugh, so dangerous right on the first ball of the game. Then again, this is how Anna recovers, and I want everyone to understand, if you dribble into space and you take the ball at speed, and when you get one-on-one with players, you allow them to come in and then you touch the ball by them and run past them, you can cover a lot of ground just running by people. I think a lot of the time we slow down in those situations and maybe go into traffic. That was a great example of what you can do just running forward. So now we have a set piece. We've already scored on a corner in this game. Let's take a look at where everyone is, right? We've got a few at the back post. That's where the ball should go, right? Close. But we really want to make sure that unless we're hitting a shot on target that's meant to go in, that goes right on top of where our teammates are going to be and not in the goalie's hands. So right here, we win the ball, McKenna has it, we should be able to build out, right? But we didn't give ourselves enough space. And now we're not super balanced, right? Ari's able to carry the ball. Again, that's a defender carrying the ball a long way up the field, playing a 1-2, trying to get it back. And thanks to her, we got out. But we didn't open up wide enough to pass the ball. We needed someone to take us up the field. So to be able to pass the ball around more, we need to be able to spread out when we win it. And that's a good idea. But again, this is one of those ones. The ball's bouncing to you, you're top of the box. If you can control it and turn, you might be able to shoot. So we got to be more brave at balls in the air. We really do.
Hey, yo, just so you know, team, your left back is going forward, pressing and winning the ball. Anyone else want to help her?
Yeah, well, so the whole point is Mira was all over the place trying to push up and win the ball, and you know, the keeper's gotten the ball 2-3 times, played it out to a defender, and no one's really pressing anybody, not that hard. So we need to all be on the same level there in that sense. Okay, so again, here we have a throw-in. The ideal would be that we get it into the middle to someone to be able to get it to Mira, and then we can attack from this side. Count the white jerseys over there. There's too many. And Mira is standing right in the middle of the screen, wide open. So how do we get it to her? Well, we don't throw it into the crowd, for one. And two, we calm down and take a look around at where we want to go in one or two passes.
Good, Mace. There we go. Keep going.
Good pressure. And now right here, we got a 2v1. We got to try and get something on it. It was good pressure on the ball. We just have to get a foot on it. We got to get a tackle. We've got to get a bump on the player. Something that destabilizes her enough to not be able to switch play. and lead to them with possession at the top of our box, right? And when we clear it out, forwards or attacking midfielders need to get in front of their defender to be able to get the ball and hold it so that we can go forward, like right here, being able to do it. You'll see a few more times where the ball goes forward, and frankly, we're just not quick enough to get ahead of the defender. They get it, and they put it right back in our face. So right here, we need to be facing forward as much as we can. All of us are running back towards our own goal, and it's hard to deal with balls like that. We got two people running into each other. Ari gets a pretty good clearance here, but we're slow to get on the ball, and then this girl just decides, you know what, whatever, I'm going for it. Goes around two, and McKenna had that covered, but oof, that is risky. Again, clearance, White gets the ball first. So look, Macy does really well here. She goes around one, she drives forward, finds a pass, keeps running forward, asks for it back. Okay, it's not clean, but she goes ahead and gets it, calms down, has her head up, doesn't have a pass yet, keeps driving forward, is dribbling forward. This is really good. Combine and run forward. Again, now look, Macy's drug it all by herself, has taken the ball from 10 yards in her own half to 10 yards from their corner flag. So now we have an opportunity to keep them here. And what do? Well, spoiler alert, they go down the field and score in a minute or two here. So the throw-in, we cannot let this girl get the ball and turn. So Peyton needs to be closer to Mira there so that this doesn't happen. Now, we could learn a thing or two here by the way they just drove forward. Power, pace, run into the space. You know, this is a very dangerous thing that they created. And it started, think about where it started, from our own end. Now, we don't get underneath the punt. They do. So it's really sometimes frustrating, I think, for all of us, right? If we're playing or watching, to see us doing so well, and then, you know, one or two silly moments, or moments where we're just not on it and quick enough to pressure the ball or to win it, it leaves us getting scored on.
Can we be a little quicker? You look like you're giving up already. Come on.
And that is me just noting your body language after we get scored on. You can't. We've got to put the ball on the spot and say, hey, we're coming back. We're trying to tie this game up and then go and win it. And after we get scored on, it's a really good time for us to try to get a handle of the game. People need to want the ball again. We need to be brave and go back toe-to-toe with them. If we spend the next 5 minutes worried, we're going to struggle. And so here they have a throw-in. And we need to look at, there's a huge gap between our midfield and our forwards. You can't see our forwards. And our midfielders are way back by our own 18. Okay? That's good pressure on the ball by them. And making it simple, just putting it in a dangerous area, and they get a shot off. So we really need to understand that how well the pressure works and how we need to be careful of losing the ball on our own end. So does everyone see this patch in the foreground here of wide open space? This is where we want to get to when we build out. And then we want to get the ball to the other side where that other space is diagonally on the opposite side of the field. That's what we want to do. Now here Ari does a good job of dribbling forward and taking us out. But, you know, our midfield, everyone's marked. You can see it. No one's asking for the ball, and so we lose it, and now they come back at us again. Once again, look at this area right here in right in our face. Tons of space. And look, this girl's creeping up because she knows the ball might go to Mira. And if it does, that's fine. We've just got to be able to get it and move it across to the other side, and we almost do. our spacing is just a little bit too tight, and so it's hard to find that through ball. It's hard to have enough space to hit it. Now here, take a look. Look at the 18-yard line. We have 3 defenders marking no one, and therefore now look, Layla, who is a forward here in the middle of your picture, she's coming back to mark a midfielder. That's because our back line is so deep. This is a holding mid with a forward next to her, and a huge distance to go to find the only person up the field. Now, I don't pretend to know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm pointing at that one in the middle. You see how we get there, we steal the ball. Look at where we have it, right? And now let's keep it. Again, we're so determined to go straight towards goal. We give it up easily. You know, good pressure out on that side. Now, once again, let's keep them in here. You see there's 3 white jerseys with no one really closely on them until about... So this is the final sort of section of the game here. I think the most important piece for us to look at is what are the moments of quality, what things did we do where we patiently played well, and where did we sort of panic and miss opportunities to score, because we do score a goal in this clip, and so I think it's really important, you know, to try and figure out what worked, what didn't, so that in the future we can make more of these opportunities. So I like this by Anna, just get the ball back into a dangerous area, and then, you know, we're trying to find a way through here, and I think there's some good patience that you see here. Ella's got 3 players on her. Shyla's wide open. She finds her. Shyla doesn't really have a good option right away, so she finds Ari, who takes her time to cross. You know, that's good play, right? And we just need to maintain that. And here you have a moment where Anna takes a rough touch, and then 2 players collide on each other, and before we know it, we're trying to dig ourselves out of an issue. In comparison to before, where we were just a little bit more calm. So you'll see that on and off throughout these last few minutes. So right there I'm pointing out, yeah, the girl had her hands up in the air and could have given up a penalty, but she really chucked herself at the ball and made sure it hit her square in the chest. And that's, you know, a sacrifice defenders have to make. You have to take a ball sometimes. So it's decent recovery defending right there. Now we got to try and, again, get a hold of the ball, get into our attacking half, and then be able to keep it there, not really let them out. And so right there I just said moments of quality, because I think right there Sally dribbled through, I think, 3 people. She did a good job to call Ella off the ball, spread it wide, and then the cross just goes straight out of bounds. And we know we're capable of better, and I think we just, in moments like that, we really have to choose to put in the most quality we can to give ourselves the best chance of scoring. This is good pressing right there, cutting off the passing lane, forcing it back into the middle where we win it. So that is so important about pressing. Don't just run at the ball. Right, we've talked about it a lot. Cut off a passing angle. Not sure about that foul, to be honest. So right after they get awarded a free kick, everyone on our team is just walking backwards. They kick it right over us, and this is where it ends up. So again, this is a transition. Free kick called, whether we agree with the decision or not, back up early, win it, and send it back in their face. So now we attack here, and I mean, we do a decent job. right here. Clearly, we've got some runners on the outside, right? Macy, we should have tried to find her the ball, and maybe need to create a little more width, but at the same time, we can find a pass to her feet or in front of her instead of behind her and out wide. So right here, we gotta press. We gotta be ready. Anything. That ball goes across. We've got all our forwards backing off. Then they go wide. We're slow to press over there. It's just too easy to get out. We just make it so simple. 2-3 passes and they're gone. And we do want to do that same exact thing when we have the ball, right? Here we recover it. We need to be able to spread out, use the space, get our outside backs involved, and then go up the line, and then be able to switch it through the middle. So right here, we got to get under the punt. We've got to support each other as a front two or front three, whatever it is. People have got to get under the ball to help it get forward and not let them go the other way. This is a good driving run forward. It helps a lot. Then we can get the ball wide. We just heard someone say get in the box. And earlier there was a moment where Ella played a ball that went out of bounds, right? And we got nothing out of it. It was a goal kick. This one, you put it in the box, people run at the ball, good things can happen. So I hope all of this, helps us a little bit going into this weekend, going into the round into league play for the rest of the season. Take it and learn.